This is Trip. They said they needed somebody whose mic demeanor matches how the D-League get it hype inside that ice arena. For live action analysis and highlights, you need to let your host on the mic, Mr. Reichert, be the light to lead you through life between the pipes. Incite like an encyclopedia. Look inside yourself, find the fight to compete in you. Get in while you can, the numbers doubling fast. Asses in the seats and snot bubbles on the glass. Sign your name on the line for your spot and lock it up. This is hockey. We'll see who talking tough when they drop the puck. Try to keep your teeth and knock it up. Sorry about your luck. You should probably go sit down somewhere safe and get doctored up. Turn it up loud, let it knock in your truck. Or in the office, sound waves ripple through coffee cups. Come on. Log on, lock it in, and lock it up. It's dleagueradio.com. Let's talk it up. Log on, lock it in, and lock it up. It's dleagueradio.com. Let's talk it up. Lace your skates up or sit back reading the tea leaves. You are now tuned into the D-League. If you ain't bumping this in your ride, you need a DD. You are now tuned into the D-League. Leave the TV, come and see it in 3D. You are now tuned into the D-League. It's the best podcast in the biz, better believe me. You are now tuned into the D-League.
Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome to Buccaneer Arena. This is the third of 3 games tonight. I'm Matt Whips. I'm joined by Jeremy Sandy. Jeremy, we are in for a good one tonight. We've had 2 great games already. Quick recap, we'll get to that details later, but so far it's the Wild Goose who won the intermediate semifinal. We just finished an incredible game that saw the Wolverines emerge in a shootout, and now we've got one more spot to decide here in the intermediate Eastern Conference final between the Stampede and the Jesters.
Absolutely. This is going to be just an absolute great game. Looking at these two teams, seeing each other, this is like a definitive Game 7 in the playoffs. These two teams have seen each other 6 times already. Jesters won 3 times, Stampede 2. They had 1 tie there right in the middle, and this, I don't see either team backing down. This looks like a very good team on both sides that are really just going to light up this puck and take it to each other.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, I'm looking at this, and it's interesting because the Jesters are coming off a pretty long layoff. They have not played since May 6th. We had a couple holidays in there, of course, and then they had the first round bye. So they're a little rusty. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust early on. And the Stampede coming off that very impressive victory over the Squirrels, 6-1 in the quarterfinal matchup.
Yes, and if we see what they did against the Squirrels, against the Jesters today, then they have a very good chance of defeating what they did to the Squirrels last week. Then they have a good job of defeating the Jesters today. They had a very strong second period. I think it was 4 goals to none in the second period, and the second period is the Jesters' period. They like to score during that second period more times than any other period by far. If they can hold the Jesters like that, then the Jesters are not going to have an easy time defeating the Stampede today.
All right, so we are ready to go here. So on your TV screen, if you're watching at home, we have the Jesters in black heading north and the Stampede in teal heading towards the south or the lounge end of the ice. And we are underway. Puck is dumped in where it's wrapped around by Jake Brott. And Zach Lee looks to clear and does. He's trying to hit DeCellis just out of his reach. It's going to go all the way down for an icing call. So, Jeremy, I would expect early on maybe a little bit of nervous energy as teams adjust to one another, but these teams are explosive, especially the Jesters, so I think things will open up early.
I think they will too. Like you said, they're both explosive, they're both fast, and if you look at the numbers for both of them, they love to put that puck on net. The Jesters and the Stampede both have players. None of them really stand out as a top goal scorer in either team. There's just everybody scores.
All right, so the Jesters get a few on net, and now it's Quinn Merrill who emerges for the Stampede. Shabak was ahead of the play and fell right at the blue line. I'm not sure. I think they're going to call that offsides. It's kind of an unusual play. You don't see that happen very often, but there was a little bit of a spill there at the blue line, so they are going to bring it outside the zone. Just underway. Great to have you here with us here on D-League Radio. This is going out to you on Facebook Live, and it will be posted on YouTube very shortly. So the face-off is won back by Andy Allen. But now it's Tim Young who brings it in for the Jesters, looking to get around, and that's poked out very nicely by Tom Stovey. And now it's Jeremy Dove who brings it in. Dove gets it over to Allen. Allen waits for something to open. That's blocked by Kyle Gray. Lost sight of it momentarily. Now Coble wraps it around. Kept in nicely by Joe Elmore. Puck is centered. Doesn't get all the way through. And now it's Robert Bonnet who brings it out. He's got a step. Elmore tries to recover and does just in time. So good recovery there by Joe Elmore to keep Bonnet just to the outside. Bonnet centers up to Young. It just rolls off his stick. Allen pressures and just gets it out of the zone. And that's going to be offsides. Bonnet thought that Teague Boyd kept it in, but he just came out of the zone, and that's going to result in an offsides. It'll be interesting to see if they call an intentional offsides. I don't think they will.
I don't think it was intentional. And being on the ice, if I was in his situation, I would have done the same thing. There's just, from his angle, it's hard to tell if that went out or not.
All right, so the puck is dumped in by the Stampede where Josh Brott retrieves it. Kept in nicely there by Joe Price. Gets it down to JT Nutt. He battles with Brott along the boards. Brott emerges and brings it out. Poked off his stick by Adam Waters. Good centering pass just off the stick of Nutt. Now it's wrapped around again where Mathers takes it. He's trying to get around and does. Now he's got Boyd with him. Tries to get ahead to Boyd, but just a little off ahead of him. Boyd centers, kind of rolled off his stick. Boyd again gets it. Centers, just off Tom Stovey. And that almost went in his own net. Mathers now pressures. Got Boyd right out front. And here comes Reichart. He fires. That's blocked by Price. Now Blake Upmeyer battles with Elmore. Elmore wraps it around. It's going to be kept in by Mathers. Mathers spins and keeps it in. Now it's Reichart again. He fires wide. Elmore trying to clear it. Battles with Upmeyer. Around to Waters. It's Mathers still with the puck. Now it's poked off his stick and finally cleared by the Stampede. It's on the stick of Nutt. He's trying to get around Brott. Brott forces him to the outside. Brott now takes it in behind his own net. Dumps it out where he finds Tim Young. Tim Young brings it in against Jake Brott. Pennico turns that aside. Coble now pinches in and scores! Kevin Coble put that on net. It looked like it may have been deflected, but in any event, the Jesters open the scoring. 4:35 in, and we have our first goal, Jeremy.
Yes, and nothing less than what we were expecting. Many shots on net. The Jesters just keep pounding away at it, and pretty soon those are going to go in. The Stampede really have to set up defense here in the neutral zone and get them out so they can get their offense set up.
All right, so DeSellis gets it up to Eric Chabak, who's got a step on Coble. Chabak shoots. That is stopped by Dave Brown. Great play. DeSellis now deflects it on net. Coble's camped out right in the crease. Merrill now shoots, and finally the Jesters clear. So good answer there from the Stampede. And this one's going to go just long enough for icing. Good hustle play there by Tim Young, but he couldn't quite reach it. And we had quite a flurry there in front of Dave Brown, who made a nice save. And then Coble just kind of laid there hoping to make a block. And in any event, the Stampede couldn't quite get that second shot on goal.
And guys, if I can jump in real quick, I had a great vantage point of that goal scored by Coble, and it was his goal as it took a bad bounce off of Joe Price. Nothing he could do was just kind of in the line of fire, and that was what changed the direction and why it fooled Pennico.
All right, so the Stampede dump it back in, and they're trying to set something up as DeSellis fires. That's blocked by Brott. I have to make sure I identify Brotts as we have each team with one. There's a shot by DeSellis. So I neglected to mention our sideline reporter tonight, Eric Zamora. Sorry about that, Eric. I didn't even see you over there, but thank you for chiming in. We'll get your opinions as the night goes on.
No problem. Apparently they didn't like my call the last game because I got benched over here.
Oh, you're going to like the view over there. It's a very unique vantage point for sure. All right, now one back by the Stampede just off the stick of Zach Lee. He's pressured by Casey Spear. Now it's Andy Allen who emerges right in the neutral zone. Allen brings it in. He's got some speed. He shoots. Brown fights that one off. Good save by Dave Brown. Now Reichart pokes that where it's taken by Waters. He centers. Boyd picks that up. Now it's kept in by Jake Brott. Jake Brott shoots. That's fought off by Brown. Good pressure by the Stampede. Now Dove centers where Waters and Reichart do battle. Andy Allen now behind the Jesters net. He's there with Bonnet. Zach Lee tries to keep it in and does. Good play by Lee. Fires hard, and Zach Lee has a hard shot, and that one just went wide. Good forechecking here by the Stampede. Now finally the Jesters get it out. And Brott's going to send it back in, but that will be offsides. 12:17 to go. 1-0 Jesters. So, Jeremy, a good response here by the Stampede after that opening goal by the Jesters.
It was definitely a good response, and this is exactly what the Stampede need to do. The Jesters came out, and there was a good solid minute down in the Stampede's end, putting puck on net. This was a Stampede, good solid minute, putting their puck on the net.
Okay, he's now chipped out, up to Tim Young. Gets around Stovey. He's by himself looking for help. Tries to center it to Mathers. It hops over his stick. Now Chabak has Nutt in front of him, but a little too far. This was going to be an icing, and I believe it still is. Yep, and Nutt took a tumble there, but he's okay. So with 11:28 to go, the faceoff will come down to the left of Penteco. So Tim Young against Joe Price. One back to the point where Gray takes it. Gray waits, and that's deflected by Joe Price, and that's dumped out. This one's going to curl its way almost on net, but that will also be icing. So, Eric, they're at ice level. What are you seeing so far between these two?
Well, not just what I'm seeing, but it's more of what I'm hearing or what I'm not hearing. These are two of the quietest benches that I've ever seen in a semifinal game. And I think a lot of it has to do with just both teams feel like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They just want to cut down on mistakes. So they're not getting too high or too low, which I like out of both of these teams. You don't get upset because it's 1-0, or you don't act like you won it because you're up 1-0.
All right, so the Jesters continue to press the issue. Now Elmore battles with Mathers along the side. And Joe Elmore emerges with the puck. Tries to get out, but that's poked off his stick nicely by Young. Young tries to get around Stovey. Does. Fires. And almost hit the crossbar. I don't know how that stayed out. Mathers now. Penteco still trying to get to his feet and finally does. Now Upmeyer brings it back. He puts one on net that Penteco steers aside. Great pressure by the Jesters. Mathers and Elmore battle again. Stovey tries to get it out and just does, as Chabak was there at the blue line. He battles with Reichart. Big Eric Chabak brings it in. Tries to get around and does. Tried to wrap around, but that's broken up by Brown. And Reichart finally wraps it around and out. And this will not be an icing. And it's retrieved by Stovey. Quinn Merrill now tangles with Reichart at the blue line, forces the offsides, so the Stampede have to reset. DeCellis pinches in and keeps that play alive for the Stampede. Kurt DeCellis still with the puck. Looking for the open man, now fires, and that's broken up by Brott. Now Torrin Erickson emerges for the Jesters. He dumps it in and pursues the puck. Jake Brott's going to get there first. Jake wraps it around. And it just pops out. Now Waters have a potential 2-on-1 with DeCellis if he hurries. DeCellis. Good break up there by Jake Brott. Or Josh Brott, excuse me. Merrill keeps it in. DeCellis tries to tip, just goes wide. Centers. And Dave Brown makes the stop. Looks like Waters got just a little bit on that shot. Otherwise, that was major trouble for the Jesters, Jeremy.
Yeah, this is turned into the game that we were hoping it was going to be. We're seeing a lot of physical activity, and we're just seeing them just put it up.
All right, so the faceoff is won by the Jesters, and they chip it out. No, it's kept in very nicely by Merrill. Now Coble's looking to clear. And Zach Lee keeps that in. So again, good sustained pressure by the Stampede. Finally picked off by Teague Boyd, and the Jesters emerge. This is a 3-on-2. It's got Dylan Young and Torrin Erickson. Teague still keeps it on his, but it rolls off his stick. Behind the net, he centers, and that's blocked. He battles with Zach Lee. Now Dylan Young emerges with it. That's blocked by Merrill. Lots of good battle along the boards here. And now finally, it's up on the stick of DeSellis. Kurt DeSellis has a move. He shoots. Brown keeps it. Now it emerges. Somehow that puck came loose. So probably the best scoring chance of the game so far for the Stampede, but Dave Brown keeps it 1-0 Jesters. 7:18 to go here in the opening period. Again, kept in by the Stampede. Andy Allen. He shoots. Brown turns that aside. Loose puck. Still loose. And it's put out of harm's way by Brott. Now Spear trying to get there, but Lee is going to get there first. Takes it behind his own net. He turns, but Spear battles with him. Now Jake Brott chips it up. Very closely contested. And Bonnet shoots, and that goes up into the netting. So guys, we are seeing lots of battles along the boards. And Eric, I imagine you have a really good look at that. So what are you seeing down at ice level?
Well, it's kind of at this point of the season, I don't think anybody's going to try to do anything outside the norm. You're not going to see trick plays. You're not going to see anything out of the bread and the butter. These two teams played well throughout the regular season, and they're just going to roll with that. So it's kind of that grinded out game you're used to seeing out of teams like this.
All right, so the Jesters continue to pour on the pressure. Bonnet now gets it back to the point where it's taken by Brott. Brott down to Tim Young, who shoots it wide. That was a set play. Very nice play by the Jesters. Chobek now chips it out, and that will go the length of the ice for an icing call. 5:53 to go here in the first. Still 1-0 Jesters. So, Jeremy, so far the Stampede are not only weathering the storm, but they're getting some good sustained pressure of their own.
They are, and I'm really surprised that some of those have not gone in yet. Dave Brown has done a good job of catching all those loose pucks that were just bouncing around down there. And the Stampede have got a goal in them somewhere here, and I know they're going to get one soon. But right now it looks like all Jesters down here.
All right, and as we speak, they had a couple nice chances there. Again, stirred aside by Panico. Now Spear looking to get in on the action. And that's kept in by Gray. So the Stampede getting pinned in right now, and they really need a clear. That's Bonnet, who emerges with the puck. He's bothered by Joe Elmore. Now Allen looking to clear. Andy Allen chips it out, where it's taken by Gray back in the neutral zone, and the Jesters come right back in. Here's Tim Young. He battles with Allen. Allen looking for Chobek. Just missed his stick. And again, that will be an icing. So we're seeing, Jeremy, that even when the Stampede can chip it out, if they don't get it in deep, the Jesters turn it right back over and get it back in the zone. They're so dangerous when they can play on just half the ice like that.
Yeah, they have to get it into the neutral zone under control and back into the Jesters zone. They're going to get tired sitting down here at their own end for this entire period.
All right, so again, the Jesters emerge. Now Boyd gets it over to Mather. That's just shot wide. Now Upmeyer. He fires it wide. Waters looking to clear. That's kept in by Reichart. John Reichart settles the puck. That's deflected up into the netting. So just under 4 minutes to go. Still 1-0 Jesters. So after that early goal, Rich Penico has settled down and made a number of quality saves.
He has. He looks right at home again. He was flustered there for a little bit. Had a lot of action on him, and he's looking very comfortable, very relaxed here. as very surprisingly as he is with all these pucks coming at him for the last few minutes.
All right, so that shot's blocked by Lee. Lee now looking to set up a play, gets it up to net. JT Nutt brings it in the zone, just onside. Looking to get it back over to Waters. That's broken up nicely by Mathers. Mathers chips it out, or he tangles with Joe Price. Mathers brings it in, gets around Zach Lee. And Mathers now looking to center, but instead dumps it behind the net. Smart play as no one was really open. But now Nutt chips it out, where Reichart intercepts right near the red line. John Reichart dumps it back in. Now the Stampede just get it out. Here comes JT Nutt. We got a 3-on-2 developing. Nutt centers a little too far ahead for Price. Waters centers just out of the reach of Nutt. Upmeyer chips it out where it's taken by Jake Brott in the neutral zone. He dumps it back in. Now Josh Brott emerges for the Jesters. Mathers again, lots of speed. It looks like we're going to have a penalty here. And Zach Lee will be going to the penalty box. Not sure what the call is. May have been interference. In any event, he is going to the box. So, Jeremy, if you're the Stampede, the last thing you want to do is give up a power play, but unfortunately for them, they are going to have to do so for the next 2 minutes.
Yes, in these tight games, power plays can mean all the difference. Special teams can get points on the boards, and that can be the difference between a 2-1 game and a 2-0 game.
All right, so with 1:50 to go here, the penalty will just about take the rest of the period. In fact, it will. And a hard shot, Pinnacle, big save on Torrin Erickson. Best save of the game so far for the Stampede. A battle behind the net. Again, this time it's Dylan Young. Stampede trying to clear. Now DeCellis has it and brings it out. Kurt DeCellis tries to get around Young. He has this puck poked off his stick. Now they battle on the line. And now here comes Dylan Young and now Tim Young. Looking to center. It's out of the reach of Erickson, who turns and fires, and it's in! And I think that's going to be Tim Young's goal.
It looked like a very good give and go from Tim Young over to Torrin Erickson and then right back to Tim Young to bounce into the net.
Yeah, so that's a killer for the Stampede. You never want to give up a goal in the last minute. Unfortunately for them, they do, and the power play comes through for the Jesters, and it's 2-0 with just a little over 40 seconds to go here in the first. DeCellis brings it in now, 30 seconds to go, tries to get around Brott and does, but then that's chipped out and right back in by Stovey. Now it's off the skate of Dylan Young. It stays in and then chipped back out, but kept in nicely by DeCellis. Kurt DeCellis comes in. Can't quite get around Reichart. John Reichart just looking to chip it out here at the end of the period. Now here comes Erickson with about 10 seconds to go. Torrin Erickson with speed. Torrin Erickson tied up very nicely by Quinn Merrill. That will just about do it if the Stampede can chip it out, and they do. And that will be the end of the first period. So at the end of one, it is 2-0 Jesters on a very entertaining game. And Jeremy, as you alluded to, it's everything we were hoping for. And I have a feeling things are just getting started.
I think they are. I was hoping for a 1-1 at the end of the first, but, you know, penalties do that to you.
All right, at this time we're going to go down to Eric Zamora, who looks to have an interview. Eric?
I'm on the bench right now of the Jesters. They've got a 2-0 lead. I'm with Tim Young. Tim, you just got a big goal there at the end of the period. Take us through kind of your thought process, how you were able to give that and then get it right back.
It really is just coming down to a team effort. There's no way I could have done that without Torrin's pass. It's a full team effort here. The game plan now is just pepper Penteco with shots. That's all we can do. We just got to hang in there, stay tough, and play a game.
All right. Good luck to you. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Eric. I want to remind you that all D-League Radio games are brought to you by the Keg Stand, and now it's its third year of being the primary sponsor of D-League Radio. Located at 3530 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines, over 90 beers on tap, new tappings every week, and a complete listing of beers on the menu and beer board. and a full menu of some of the best food in town and food specials all day, Monday through Friday. All right, so just ready to get underway here in the second as teams switch sides. We have the period of the long change. Now it's the Stampede's turn to head to the north zone. Zach Lee emerges with the puck here in his own zone. Fires it just out of the range and out of the reach of Jeremy Dove. Bonnet's going to get there first for the Jesters. Bobby Bonnet sends it right up the middle, but Mathers, his teammate, gets there first. Andy Allen was looking to pick that off. Kept in by Lee. Now they do battle along the boards, Mather and Andy Allen. Now back to Lee. He partially fans on the puck. Here comes Bonnet. That's poked off his stick by Brock. Good play there by Jake Brott before Bonnet could get a full head of steam. Now Mathers gets it. He dumps it in from just inside the red line. And now Zach Lee wraps it around where it's taken by Mathers. Mathers over to Bonnet. Bonnet centers. That's blocked by Lee. Bonnet still with the puck. That's deflected but kept in by Kyle Gray. And now it's broken up by Jake Brott and just out of the zone. Dumped right back in by the Jesters. Okay, Zach Lee gets the puck as the Jesters make a line change. And Dove gets it up to Andy Allen. Allen comes in with Waters. That's forced offside, so the Stampede will have to regroup. Now Lee dumps it in. Coble gathers it for the Jesters. He wraps it around looking for Casey Spear. Spear gets it up to Bonnet. Bobby Bonnet gets it back on his stick. He tries to get around Lee. And that one will be just offsides as Spear was in there a tad too early. So, Jeremy, we're just underway here in the second, and it's 2-0, but I get the feeling that the next goal is very important. It's either going to be a 3-0 lead for the Jesters or the Stampede are going to cut into it. So what do the Stampede need to do to get back in this?
Well, the Stampede need to slow down the Jesters. They are just delivering right through the neutral zone way too fast. They're getting in the Stampede's defensive zone, and they're creating havoc over there. And the Stampede just don't seem to be breaking up their offensive plays very well at the moment, and they've got to do that and get it down into the Jester zone so that they can get some points on the board and keep these Jesters from putting those pucks on net.
All right, for now it's more the Jesters' pressure here in the south end. John Reichart looks to keep it in and does. Chips it up to Torrin Erickson. Erickson now gets it on net, and Penteco steers that aside. That was dangerous. Now Upmeyer does the same from the opposite side, and that's turned aside. Now the Stampede really need to clear, and they finally get one. But it's poked right back in by Brott, but now the Stampede get a free out and do so. Brott up to Nutt. JT Nutt tries to get there, but Josh Brott gets there first. Now Boyd takes it for the Jesters. 16:40 to go here in period number 2. 2-0 Jesters. Joe Price pokes that off the stick of Teague Boyd, but Erickson recovers for the Jesters. Now it's Upmeyer, who fires it on net. Penteco gloves that and steers it aside over to Stovey. Stovey's bothered by Boyd, sends it right up the middle, but it misses everyone, and this will be an icing call. So, Jeremy, the Stampede are withstanding the barrage so far, but you get the feeling that they better start pressing a little bit more if they want to emerge unscathed here much longer.
They absolutely have to. Like I said, they can't take a beating all night long. They have to get on offense. They're playing way too much defense tonight.
All right, so good low shot there by Tim Young, and Penteco had to be sharp right off the face-off there. So we're going to replay that same play just to the right of Rich Penteco. Young wins the face-off back. It's kept in by Mathers. Ian Mathers battles with Zach Lee. Lots of contact there. Mathers gathers, and that's blocked by Brott, and that's turned aside. Now it's Waters who wraps it around. Gray pinches in. Shoots that just wide. Now Lee fires it And Tim Young breaks that up right in the neutral zone. And now the Jesters reset. And now it's Merrill up to DeCellis. Gets it back to Merrill and a little give and go. Quinn Merrill still with the puck. Tries to get it over to Waters. He's bothered by Coble. Puck is centered. Kept in by Jake Brott, who fires. And Dave Brown makes the save. So a little bit of pushback now from the Stampede. We're at the 14:40 to go here in period number 2. Still 2-0 Jesters. This faceoff will come to the right of Brown. Merrill faces off against Tim Young. Tim Young wins it back, where it's taken by Spear. Spear now sets things up and wraps it around. Tries to get up to Mathers, just out of his stick. Now Merrill, pursued by both Tim Young and Mathers. They battle in the second. Tim Young right in the middle, but Brott breaks that up. Great centering pass. There's another one, just off the stick of Spear. Again, the Jesters really swarming now. Coble keeps it in. He gets it down to Mathers, who centers. That's broken up by Merrill. Tries to get out, but he collides with Tim Young, and now finally DeCellis brings it out for the Stampede. Kurt DeCellis now. Gets around Gray. DeCellis centers, and that is just deflected wide. Waters had an opening, but he just put it right through the crease. Best opportunity of the night for the Stampede. Now Tim Young tries to bring it out, but he's taken off the play by Andy Allen.
The important thing here is that the Stampede are creating opportunities now. They're getting it down there. They're doing stuff down at the net, and they look like they were going to score. That's the first step right there. They have to create those opportunities. They have to be down here, and they have to put it in the Jester's face in order to tie this thing up.
And not to correct you guys, but actually that was a save by Brown. From your vantage point, it looked like it went through, but it was Brown shutting the 5-hole at the last possible second. Then it sat there in the crease, and he was able to get a big clearance from his D.
All right, good stuff. So an even better save by Brown than we thought. We thought it just went wide, but that is not the case. All right, so Brott chips it out, past Spear, and now it's taken by Stovey. He gets it over to Elmore. Joe Elmore tries to get up to Chabak, but just out of his reach, and that will be icing. So, Eric, from your vantage point, are you seeing a good pushback from the Stampede?
Well, the first thing that I'd say is I like the fact that the Stampede at this point are not getting in their own heads. They're not thinking about the score. They're not starting to bicker on the bench. Really, they're saying, look, nobody thought we were going to try to win this game 1-0 against this team. We knew that we were going to have to put some pucks in the net, and so far the offense has gone their way. It's going to come back. They also know that at any point, Penteco can just flip that switch and shut things down. So despite the fact that the score is what it is, I don't think the Stampede are getting down on themselves at all.
All right, so Erickson with a nice keep in for the Jesters. Trying to create something there. Now Reichart jumps in. That puck is partially deflected. Now here comes Andy Allen. Trying to get a step. Allen brings it in. He's got Chabak with him. Allen centers it. Shoots. Chabak just shoots it wide. Chabak had the rebound, but just shot it wide. Now Dove is going to retrieve it for the Stampede behind his own goal. Jeremy Dove chips it up to Chabak. Eric Chabak gets around Erickson. Chabak just has it roll off his stick. Now Upmeyer is going to clear. Out of the reach of Erickson, so it's retrieved by Elmore. Now here come the Stampede again. Chabak brings it in the zone. Eric Chabak shoots. That's saved by Brown. So some good pushback now by the Stampede. Here comes Ian Mathers. Looking to get around Elmore. Rolls off his stick. Centers. Oh, and just past Bonnet. Now Bobby Bonnet still has the puck. He shoots it. That's deflected wide. Mathers now in the corner. Looking to center. And that one's deflected almost on his own net by Elmore. Penteco turns that one aside. Now again, the Stampede desperately in need of a clear. Bonnet with the puck. That's deflected. Kept in by Gray. That goes wide where it's Elmore. Chipped over to Bonnet. Bonnet keeps it in. Tries to get it back to the point. That's broken up by Waters and finally cleared by the Stampede. Now they'll be looking to make a line change, I'm sure, at least a partial one. Now Nutt temporarily keeps that in, but now it's cleared by Gray. Now Waters will chip that back in. And right back out by the Jesters. Now Mathers gets it back, brings it to the center. And good defense there by Elmore to force Mathers to the outside. Now chipped out by Waters, and that's going to go on net, so no icing. Brown chips that up to Dylan Young. Young's going to bring it in himself, looking for help. Dylan Young goes behind the net. Centers it right up the middle. Gets through everybody now, and now JT Nutt's going to bring it in for the Stampede, trying to get around Coble. JT Nutt, that's poked off his stick by Coble. Centers, that's broken up. Now Reichart chips it out. And just off the bench is Torrin Erickson. He's got a step. It just rolls off his stick. Still, though, he emerges with the puck behind the net. He battles with Jake Brott. Brott chips it up, and now it's Waters who chips that out. So a crazy sequence there. And now it's dumped back in by the Jesters. Brott chips it up just out of the reach of Joe Price. And now Elmore again emerges, but Torrin Erickson takes it right off his stick and brings it into the slot. He fires just wide. Boyd now, he shoots wide off the backhand. And Elmore is going to clear that, and they will take the icing. So lots of activity in the Stampede zone. And Jeremy, there are good icings and there are great icings, and they really needed that one.
Yeah, that was one that I completely agree with. Get it out of the zone, get some fresh legs out there, reset, set up something, and get it down there.
All right, so the face-off to the left of Penteco. Quinn Merrill against Tim Young. Young wins that back. Josh Brott shoots from the point. That goes wide. Mathers now defers it back to Reichart, who dumps it in. Zach Lee battles with Mathers. Now Chobek emerges. He's got 2-on-1 if he hurries with DeSellis. Chobek brings it in, shoots, and Brown pokes it off his stick. Merrill had the opportunity. That goes wide. And now finally, after that crazy sequence, Brown makes the save. So Dave Brown came out and challenged that shooter and just got enough of that puck to steer it aside. Eric, what did that look like from ice level?
Well, it was hectic, it was chaotic, and the best part about it was that it wasn't a situation where right afterwards the puck either went out of play or into the corner. There was still a mad scramble, and that was about a half inch away from being a loose puck that was buried. Fortunately for the Jesters, went just wide of the post.
All right, so back to live action as Lee chips it out. Merrill up to DeSellis. Kurt DeSellis now. He fires wide. Stampede with a bit of pushback now. Mathers wraps it around, trying to clear it up to Casey Spear, who just gets it out of the zone. Now Zach Lee's going to bring it back in. Stampede have to reset. Now Coble retrieves it in his own zone. Gets it up to Young. It rolls off his stick where it's retrieved by Lee. Zach Lee dumps it in, and that will elude all sticks and result in the icing call. 6:17 to go. Still 2-0 Jesters. Great to have you with us here on D-League Radio and D-League Radio TV. I want to also remind you that all D-League Radio games are brought to you by So Cherry. Your printing and sewing, short-run garment decorating specialist, custom jerseys or uniforms for any sport, and the official outfitter of the CIDL. Face-off won back by the Stampede. Lee wraps it around, but that's kept in by Upmeyer, who shoots that wide. Now Lee again retrieves. Coble now pokes it back, but it's taken off the stick of Andy Allen, who brings it in. He's bothered by Tim Young, and now Erickson will bring it out for the Jesters. Tries to get around Lee, gets through the middle. Erickson still with the puck, and it just rolled off his stick. Penteco still down. Erickson looking to set it up, and just out of the zone, the Stampede get that puck. Dumped right back in by the Jesters. Now Stovey dumps it out where it's taken by Erickson. Erickson brings it in for the Jesters. That's deflected right back to his stick. He fires and Pennico turns that aside. Upmeyer now takes the cross. He and Erickson play a bit of catch. And now Bonnet takes it behind the net. He centers, looking for Erickson, but broken up nicely by Allen. But kept in by Coble. Bonnet now tries to get it over to Upmeyer. But that's deflected wide. Upmeyer fires to the center, but that's deflected. Now again, the Stampede looking to clear. Got a lot of tired bodies out there. So Dove emerges for the Stampede, gets it in deep. Nice pass over to Waters. Waters shoots, that goes wide. Comes all the way out of the zone. Now Stovey up to Allen. Andy Allen resets for the Stampede. Brings it in himself. Tries to get around Upmeyer. Puck still in the zone. Waters now. He fires. Good save by Brown. Waters centers. Puck is really bouncing now. And finally, Dave Brown has seen enough and freezes that puck. So just like the previous games, the ice is really starting to get wet out there. And Jeremy, that puck is bouncing a lot.
Yeah, that makes it very difficult to control. Is there an issue with that in here?
Well, it's about 90 degrees outside, so it is to be expected. Yeah. This is what you get from May 31st hockey. All right, so the Jesters emerge with this face-off. Bonnet chips it out to himself. Elmore comes back for the Stampede. Bonnet now looking to wrap around, just gets it up to the center. Well, that's broken up by Price. Price up to net. That's deflected where it's gathered by Mathers. Ian Mathers brings it in. Still with the puck. Showing great patience. Get it over for the one-timer, and Bonnet was on the back door and just couldn't quite get there. Mathers again gets it back. Back to Reichard at the point. He fires. Pennico just closes the pads in time. That one was earmarked for the back of the net, but Pennico got those pads down just in the nick of time to keep this 2-0. So again, great pressure by the Jesters and great passing too. We're seeing a lot of lateral movement in the zone by the Jesters.
Yeah, the Jesters are moving around a lot, and I think the Stampede are starting to lose track of them, and they're getting some good open shots on net, which is going to be very dangerous. I don't think Pennico can hold those off all night.
Okay, so Jake Brock chips it up. That gets past Nuts, so Josh Brock will force that back in. And he gets it again and chips it up to Dylan Young, and now that's chipped out of play. 2 minutes to go here in the second. Still 2-0 Jesters. So the teams reset just outside the zone of the Stampede, where it's going to be Chobek facing off against Teague Boyd. Boyd wins it back, but now DeCellis emerges, rolls off his stick, so it's going to be chipped up by Gray. Tries to get to Erickson, it rolls off his stick as well. DeCellis now gets it up to Chobek. Eric Chobek looking to return the favor. Centers it. That's just deflected wide. Now Elmore's going to keep that in and recover nicely to keep it in twice. Now DeCellis now behind the net. Tries for the wraparound. Chobek shoots and scores. So Kurt DeCellis behind the net with a nifty bit of stick handling to buy himself some time. He got it out front, and Eric Chobek buried it. And after all this activity in the Stampede end, it's the Stampede who strike back and cut the lead in half, and it's 2-1.
You know, this period is a win for the Stampede. Like I was kind of alluding to beforehand, the second period is the Jesters period. They score more times in this period. The fact that the Stampede has not let them put one in net yet here with 40 seconds left is a huge statement on what the Stampede are doing right now.
Now the Stampede looking to add to that as DeCellis just couldn't quite get around the defense. Now Lee chips it out. 25 seconds to go now. 2-1 Jesters. Coble chips that up. Again, a bouncing puck. Zach Lee's going to retrieve that. Gets it up to Waters. Pops off his stick, so Kobel's going to steer that aside. And that will result in an icing, but that should just about do it here with the running clock. And that will do it. So after 2 periods, the Stampede cut into the lead, and it's 2-1. So right now, we're going to take it down to Eric Zamora. Eric?
All right, I'm here with Scott Carlisle, a member of the Stampede. Obviously, we saw you out on the ice the last time you guys advanced against the Vicious Squirrels. I know that you're out with an injury, but first off, just how are you feeling these days?
I feel good. Sucks not being able to play, but try to be a big cheerleader for the boys right here. And they're doing good. They're working hard, and I think we're right where we want to be.
Well, you're selling yourself short, not just a cheerleader, but I see you giving instruction. You got arguably the best vantage point of anybody in the building. What do the Stampede need to do here in the third period to complete the comeback?
Keep getting pucks to the net. I mean, we got to win this ugly. I mean, we can't do pretty. The ice is rotten. We can't really stick handle. Just shoot it to the net, crash the net, and try to keep these boys outside, the other team outside. Keep them outside, keep them out of the middle.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Eric. So we're just about ready to get underway here in the third. Before we do, we want to remind you that Red Dragon Herbs sponsors D-League Radio, custom blended tea, loose leaf herbal teas from around the world. Popular flavor favorites include anti-inflammatory Turkish apple and the ever-popular chai, and now also being served at the 1882 Coffee Company in Bondurant. So just underway in the third. Puck is blocked by Lee, and he comes out. He's got Jeremy Dove with him. Zach Lee's going to take it all the way in and shoot, and just goes wide. Great rush by Zach Lee. He tangles with Josh Brott. Now it's going to be Reichart who emerges with it. He shoots it right up the middle. That's going to be on net, so Pinnacle turn that aside, which is taken by Jake Brott. That one's blocked off the stick of Brott by Tim Young. Now Brott again will wrap it around, this time to Waters. Waters tries to clear, but Reichart keeps that in. John Reichart, that deflected. And so that's a case of friendly fire. John Reichart fired that puck, and Zach Lee went to put his stick on it. Instead, he accidentally deflected it past his own netminder, and you can see he's apologizing as we speak. But it doesn't matter because the Jesters now own a 2-goal advantage once again, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, that's a big A for effort, and unfortunately the bad luck fairy was carrying right alongside of him and gave John Reichart the goal there for him.
All right, so it's the Jesters who strike here early in the third. So that one's frozen by Brown, 16:20 to go. Still 3-1 Jesters. So after all that pushback from the Stampede and they finally get on the board, it's the Jesters who get a quick goal here in the third. So we'll see how the Stampede will respond. Jesters try to bring it out and finally do as Dylan Young gets around Allen. Up to Teague Boyd. Boyd now centers back to Dylan. That just goes wide. Penteco's slow to get up. Fortunately for him, they couldn't quite get it back in front. And now it's chipped out by Waters. Nutt bothers Gray, but Kyle Gray gets it out. And now Jake Brott retrieves. Dylan Young now, bothered by Andy Allen. Allen emerges with the puck. Comes right up the middle. He's going to take it himself. Just off sides, no, just on sides is Waters. And Allen gets one on net. So usually when you see stick handling like that around the blue line, it results in an offsides, but Waters was just able to keep onside. Eric, what's the mood down there on the Stampede bench after that goal?
Well, I don't think that anybody's quick to point fingers. Everybody's had that accidental deflection, and more often than not, either still send it wide or put it where it's a little precarious but doesn't end up. But the Stampede team is acting the same when they were down 1-0, 2-0, and when they scored 2-1. They're the model of consistency.
All right, so Boyd now for the Jesters. He's bothered by Chabik. Reichart now chips it up, but it's intercepted by Allen. Allen shoots that one wide. Casey Spear now emerges for the Jesters. He's got Ian Mathers. Mathers brings it in, trying to get around Barat. Barat keeps him outside, but centered to Spear, who just shoots it wide, but now it's buried by Boyd. So the puck went wide, but it went right onto the stick of Boyd, and that one is a killer. So now it's 4-1 Jesters. Still plenty of time left, Jeremy, but now it's a 3-goal deficit for the Stampede.
3 goals is hard to come back for against the Jesters because, one, they like to score. So seeing 3 or 4 points being the last one for them is going to be a little hard to swallow for me. And that makes it 4 points that the Stampede has to make up here in a little more than half a period.
Now the Jesters looking to add to their lead as Tim Young brings it in. He fires. That's deflected by Lee into the netting, and we'll have a stoppage in play. 13:30 to go, 4-1 Jesters. So this face-off will be to the left of Rich Pennico. Joe Price and Tim Young square off. Kurt DeSellis tries to chip it out, but that's kept in by Gray momentarily. Now Chabek has it. Tries to get it up to DeSellis. That's broken up nicely by Coble. Mathers looking to reset for the Jesters. He chips it out where it's taken by Young. Young gets around Stovey. He gets around Chabek. Young shoots. That's stopped by Pennico. And Rich didn't know where that was for a moment, but he did keep it out. And it keeps the score at 4-1. Time starting to become the enemy of the Stampede. Still lots of time left, but they're down by 3. Upmeyer centers it over to Bonnet. Bonnet will reset. He'll put that on net, and that's deflected wide by Price. Joe Price now battles with Bonnet. Up to Waters. Waters still with the puck. He's bothered by Tim Young, but Waters gets the puck back. He centers it, nobody home, and Tim Young will emerge for the Jesters. Young now with speed. Comes in by himself. Rolls off his stick. Chabek shoots that wide. Now Stovey battles with Bonnet. Now Tim Young puts it back to the point where it's taken by Coble. Coble back to Young. Stampede still trying to merge with it. Lee forces it down low where it's taken by the captain, Eric Chabek. Tries to get past Bonnet, tipped, but back right on the stick of Chabek. So here he comes with a full head of steam. Brings it in. Rolls off his stick. And somehow that stayed out. That went onto the stick of Kurt DeSellis. It looked like it may have caught the crossbar. Kurt was signaling goal.
I think it did catch the crossbar and landed in the blue, and Kevin Coble landed on it.
Yeah, so somehow either Kurt was signaling goal or that Coble covered that puck in the crease. In any event, it stays out, so a very close call for the Jesters, but it stays at 4-1. So Jesters looking to clear and just get it out of the zone. It's dumped back in by Elmore. Reichart retrieves it behind the goal line. He chips it up just out of the reach of Bonnet. And now Merrill brings it back in for the Stampede. Puck is loose out front. Just goes wide. Dove just squirted that one wide. Had an opening temporarily, but just couldn't quite get it. Now he centers just out of the reach of Merrill. Now Pennico is going to reset for the Stampede. Jake Brott now chips it up to Merrill. Josh Brott out for the Jesters. Now Bonnet's got a step. He brings it in. Shoots just wide. And that's chipped out by the Stampede. Reichart falls, and now here comes Zach Lee. He's got Merrill with him, 2-on-1. Tries to get it over, but it's partially deflected, and Brown will cover that up. So kind of a crazy sequence there. We had the great opportunity by Bonnet that was tipped aside, and then a 2-on-1 emerged as Reichart fell in the neutral zone, resulting in a 2-on-1 for the Stampede, but they didn't really get a clean shot on that time, Jeremy.
No, that was a good defensive play there to break up that pass and just slowed it down, went right to Brown, and he was able to cover that up.
So Young and Waters get tangled up, and the puck squirts free, and now it's taken by Young. He's coming back against Allen. Tim Young still with the puck, battles his way through, but it rolls off his stick behind the net, and it's cleared by the Stampede. Just under 9 minutes to go now. Chipped back in by Spear. That's right up the middle. Erickson intercepts, but Pinnacle stirs that aside. Still kept in. Great forecheck by the Jesters. Now JT Nutt takes it where he puts it back up to Waters. Waters shoots, but that's deflected. Nutt tries the center, but that's blocked. Now we're going to have a whistle that I believe the puck was stuck on the back of the net. So, Eric, after the fourth goal by the Jesters, it seems like the Stampede are a little deflated. What are you seeing down there?
Well, not only that, but they had a great scoring opportunity not too long after that, and it was that mad scramble up front. And, well, credit the savvy veterans who were able to come up with that stop.
Here comes Mather on a breakaway. Shoots and scores. So the puck squirted loose, and Ian Mathers pounced on it and only needs about 2 strides to get up to full speed, and he got separation and then just snapped that 5-hole. Really wasn't much Pentago could do, and that could be the dagger. It's 5-1 Jesters.
That one is a killer. Obviously, hopefully the Stampede aren't deflated here, but they could easily be. Any team could easily be, but.
And the Jesters showing off their quick strike capability. I mean, they can do that so quickly. And then Mathers, again, with a nice shot there. That one's gloved by Penico, this resulting in a face-off. But they can strike so fast, and they've proven it tonight. Kept in now, where Upmeyer shoots it wide. Mathers again with the puck. It seems like Mathers and Bonnet have been on the ice the entire time. We've been calling their names so much tonight. All right, now Waters tries to get up to DeCellis and does. Kurt DeCellis, he's bothered by Reichart. DeCellis shoots. That's turned side by Brown, who gets the rebound as well. So again, good response by the Stampede, but Dave Brown very strong in net tonight.
He is. He's not giving a whole lot up. There haven't been a lot of rebounds here lately. Earlier in the game, you know, the Stampede were getting some rebounds off. They were getting a lot of shots on goal, but nothing in. Here lately, not much has been coming off of Dave Brown.
So Brown took his mask off. Eric, I don't know if you could see that. It looks like he may have taken it really high, close to his neck or shoulder.
And I think he seems to be all right, just trying to shake the cobwebs off, and seems to be good to go.
All right, so face-off one back by the Stampede. Price now looking to get it on net. That's deflected wide. DeCellis now will gather it. Tries to get it over to Elmore. He's bothered by Bonnet. Now back to DeCellis. He backhands. That's deflected wide. Centered. Brown tries to gather. His puck is still loose. Jesters looking to clear. That's kept in by Brott. Good play by Jake Brott, who pinches in. Now Zach Lee. That's deflected wide. That's partially fanned on. DeCellis now emerges with it. Now it's deflected to the corner where Price centers it. Brown turns that aside. Good pressure now by the Stampede. Kept in by Elmore. That's deflected. Now the Jesters will emerge. And Upmeyer tried to hit Bonnet, and it hopped over his stick, resulting in the icing. 5:10 to go. 5-1 Jesters here in the third. So the face-off after the icing will be to the right of Dave Brown. Tim Young facing off against Joe Price. One back by the Jesters. Now Young tries to get it out, but Chabot keeps it in. It's taken by Reichart behind his net. He wraps it around to Erickson, who chips it out, and he's got Tim Young with him. Erickson still with the puck and shoots and scores. So in kind of a broken play, I think Erickson was trying to get that back to Young, but the puck sort of came off his stick and then right back to him, and he makes it 6-1.
That was a good recovery to just throw one back shoulder, top shelf on Penico off of what it looked like. Like you said, it looked like he was trying to pass it over, and it got broken up and right back to his stick. And he made the best of a broken up play, and you can't ask for much more than that.
So the Jesters strike again and just pretty much put this one out of reach. Just under 4 minutes to go now. 6-1 Jesters. But no quit in the Stampede. They're still giving it their all as Quinn Merrill emerges with the puck. Dove now battles with Young. Tim Young now emerges. He's tied up by Merrill, but Young gets it. Now Penico stirs that aside as it rolls off his stick. Dylan Young now battles. Penico keeps that out. Now Gray chips that away from Dove. Coble dumps it back in. And that will be an icing after the clearing attempt by Dove. So at this point, the Stampede, I think, just don't want to give up anything else. And the Jesters are still pressing. And, you know, they got the talent to do it. And they're at a point now where they're going to make it to the championship, and they're just trying to finish this one off.
Yeah, I think the Jesters are still got their foot on the accelerator. They're not letting up at all here. They've had several here just on this last drive that were almost in.
Yeah, and right as we say that, Mathers gets another one on net. Good save there by Penico. You know, it sounds odd on a game where he's given up 6 goals, but Penico's actually played very well. He's had a lot of good saves tonight.
Well, he's also faced a lot of shots.
He has. We will get to those shot totals here shortly.
And one thing the Jesters are never shy about is putting pucks on net. They will shoot at you all night long.
Now Allen brings it in. He's bothered by Gray. That's deflected. Good deflection there by Waters. And the puck just comes out as Jake Brott tried to keep that onside. Waters went for the deflection, and it was the right play because it's something that Dave Brown has shown tonight. It's going to take us something special to beat him, and that just about did. Face-off one back by Boyd. Josh Brott chips it up back to Boyd. He's got Spear and Mathers with him. Boyd brings it in. He centers it, and that's deflected wide by Spear. Now Nutt emerges with it. Comes right back to him off the deflection. Now Boyd gets it in the corner. Teague Boyd puts it on net. That goes wide. Now Elmore behind his own net. Chips it up just out of the reach of Nutt. They're going to wave off icing here as Brott takes it behind his own net. Under a minute to go now. Brott keeps that in for the Stampede. Now Allen emerges with it. Gets it right in the slot. Brown fights that one off. Here comes Young. He's got Bonnet with him. 2-on-1 against Jake Brott. Gets it over to Bonnet. Shoots. Save by Penico. Another save. So late flurry here by the Jesters. 25 to go now. Here comes Nutt. JT Nutt shoots. Deflected. And in. So great play by JT Nutt. Took it to the house, got it on net, and more importantly, created the rebound. And Adam Waters tucks it in to make it 6-2. And that will do it as the clock will expire here in just a moment. So our final score is Jesters 6, Stampede 2, and the Jesters will meet the Wolverines in the final on June 10th. So Jeremy, a well-played game. But in the end, I think the Jesters just had a little too much firepower for the Stampede.
They did, and they did not let off the gas the whole time. And the longer they played, the more they were figuring out the Stampede and what they needed to do to beat them. But it was a good effort there right at the end, and I love seeing the Stampede come back and score right before the end of the game, showing that they did not give up. They still had it in there. They were here to play. They wanted it just as bad as the Jesters, and in this case, the Jesters emerged as a better team.
Yeah, and it's tough when it's late in the game like that, and you know given the score, you're just not going to have enough time to make it all the way back. But again, as you mentioned, to the Stampede's credit, they didn't give up, and they fought to the bitter end and got one there at the end. So making the final score 6-2, and that caps off a great evening of hockey. We had 3 games tonight. We'll go over those momentarily. We'll see if Eric can grab an interview down there as the team.
I certainly will as soon as they're done just finishing up with a team photo here.
All right, so a little conference championship photo. Congratulations to the Eastern Conference champion Jesters. And again, great effort by the Stampede tonight. Well, while we're waiting for the interview, I want to remind you again that D-League Radio is brought to you by the Keg Stand, now in their 3rd year, located at 3530 Westtown Parkway. Over 90 beers on tap and food specials all day, Monday through Friday. And the official home of the new CIDL, and as always, the home of D-League Radio. And now let's go down to Eric Zamora.
All right, I'm on the bench with Ian Mathers. Ian, one of the things that your team has had success all season long, everybody talks about the talent, but talk about the leadership on this team. You've got 3 guys, Coble, Reichert, and Young, who all wear the C, and then Dave Brown. I mean, what has that leadership and hockey IQ meant to this team?
I'd say it's meant a lot. Through their leadership, everyone's really gelled. Throughout the entire year, we've really bonded, and I think that's what our biggest strength is. It's just basically the teamwork. Everyone gets along, everyone gives it their all, and there's no slacking on the team.
And then I know that hockey players don't like to look ahead, but there is no anything else to look ahead to. Wolverines, championship game. What are your thoughts about what kind of style they play, and what are your thoughts into what you guys are going to need to do in order to come away with a championship?
Yeah, we played them a few times. We've won some, we've lost some. They're definitely a very talented team. So we got our work cut out for us moving forward.
All right, congratulations and good luck a week from Sunday. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Eric. So let's go over the scoring summary. We got quite a few goals to describe here. At the 4:27 mark of the first, Kevin Coble opened the scoring for the Jesters, assisted by Torn Erickson. And then Tim Young struck on the power play at the 18:55 mark on an assist by Kyle Gray, and what turned out to be a huge goal. And in the second period, 2:52, John Reichart with the assist by Bonnet. And then at 18:50, Eric Chabek cut the lead to 3-1, and with the assist by Kurt DeSellis. And then in the third period, the Jesters really opened it up. We had Teague Boyd at 3:50, assisted by Spear and Reichart. 10-12 saw Mathers score unassisted. 13:28, it was Torn Erickson, assisted by Reichart. And then at the 17:39 mark, JT Nutt closed it to close the scoring at 6-2. So, Jeremy, we've got our matchups are set, but before we get to that, let's talk about the evening of hockey. So we saw the first game, very crazy game at the Wild Goose emerged 6-4 over the Blues in a very entertaining game. And then in the one preceding this one, it's the Wolverines over the Benders, not decided in regulation, not decided in overtime, but in a shootout. It was just a crazy game. And then here in the nightcap, it was, well, I'm not going to call it anticlimactic, but not quite as close as obviously some of the other games, but still a well-played game, and 6-2 for the Jesters. So your thoughts on this one?
The Jesters have just laid their foot on the gas here the last few games. You look at the last 2 games they played during the regular season before their playoff bye, and they outscored their opponents 13-4. I mean, this game was no different. Here it is, a 6-2 game. They are just coming out on fire. They're dominating. They're an offensive powerhouse, and they're just not letting the other teams get down into the offensive zone to score. And, you know, if they keep this up against a Wolverine team that has tied in both playoff games, gone to a shootout in both playoff games, both rounds, I don't foresee that happening. They need to come out, if they're going to beat the Jesters, they need to come out with a lot of firepower, and they need to hold the Jesters from getting those goals early. Because any game, if you look at when the Jesters are held to just a few points, those are the games they're not winning. If they're getting the 4 points, then they're getting 6 points, and then they're getting 8 and 10. They're just, once they get rolling, and they just keep firing, and they just keep stacking up those points. So the Wolverines, Jesters, those Wolverines have to put it on thick. They have to put it on early. They kind of have to come out and just, Cobra Kai, strike hard, strike fast, no mercy.
I love it. All right. Eric Zamora, any final thoughts from you on tonight's matchup?
I think that as I've had an outsider's look at this CIDL season, when I kind of took a look at the rosters, there were certainly some predictions that I had that looked to be good come this time of year. There were some that didn't look so good. But the one thing that I really believed, it's interesting enough, is that the two teams that are still remaining, I thought they would be towards the top of the heap. I didn't know that they'd necessarily be the last two standing, but I don't think we could have asked for a better matchup come a week from Sunday.
All right, so that just about puts a wrap on this one. Again, looking ahead to Championship Sunday, the team we just saw, the Jesters, they will face off against the Wolverines, as just described by Jeremy. And in the novice division, it'll be the Wild Goose versus the Bandits, which is a matchup of the top two teams in novice. So I think we're in for a very entertaining June 10th.
I'm looking forward to June 10th.
Absolutely. So we have one more week to go here in the CIDL after a week that we won't be playing this Sunday because of scheduling conflicts with the arena, but we're just about ready to wrap this up, and the season's gone fast for sure. So, again, the final score here, Jesters 6 and the Stampede 2, and the Jesters move on to the championship. So for Jeremy Sandy and Eric Zamora and Rich Harms spinning the dials, we thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Whips. You've been listening to D-League Radio.